As an adult, it can be normal for someone to believe that other people make them feel a certain way, or that they had an experience and this experience caused them to feel a certain way, or that there is a situation in their life and this is causing them to feel a certain way. However, although it can seem as though all these external things are causing someone to feel a certain way, most likely these external events, scenarios or people or situations are simply triggering feelings or unlocking feelings that were already within them. And what this means is that these feelings are not the result of what is going on externally. It means that these feelings were already inside them. And so not only will these feelings have been triggered through the experiences that they've had, but these feelings will also have co-created the situations, circumstances, events, and the relationships that they have. And so instead of one being nothing more than a victim, a passive observer, and just experiencing these feelings randomly, they're actually playing a big part in how they feel and what they experience. So one is then not a victim inherently, although they can manifest situations where they will be a victim. They are actually a co-creator. So they have far more power than they might realize. And what sheds light on this is a conversation that I had recently. And this person was telling me about when they were volunteering. And they were giving so much. And they ended up feeling burnt out. And they didn't feel appreciated. And so they went through hell, and fortunately they were able to come out of it. And I said to this person, would you say that this is how you felt not being appreciated during your early years? And ended up looking a bit confused, and they started to think deeply, and they said to me, I'd never thought of that. And it was clear that this was the case. And so it was then not that this person just happened to randomly give too much and then feel unappreciated. It was that this person had recreated an early dynamic. Of course, they were no longer a child, they were an adult, and the past was behind them. But if all this external stuff was put to one side and they just connected to their feelings, as this person found, they would find most likely that they had simply recreated their early emotional experience. And the challenge is that as our mind has so many defenses and it blocks out our feelings, so we forget that we've forgotten, it then seems as though we are just feeling this way because, as I said, because of that person, or because of this event, or because this situation. But most likely these feelings are already there, and these feelings help to co-create this scenario. But in order to see what is going on, these dots need to be joined up, so that it is then possible for someone to see, actually, these are old wounds, and until I resolve these wounds, I will continue to primarily unconsciously, because this is not something that takes place consciously. No one thinks, as I've said, if there's no awareness there, they're certainly not going to be thinking about how can I co-create a scenario where I felt powerless or victimized or helpless or violated. This, of course, doesn't happen. And so this is why it's so important for someone to develop self-awareness, and this is a lifelong journey. so that they can start to join the dots and to see the pattern, so they can see, okay, this is a reflection of how I felt when I was 5 or how I felt when I was 8. And through working through these wounds, they will be able to change their reality to no longer create these patterns. And so if you can relate to this, then I hope that this has given you some insight, and you might be able to work through these wounds by yourself, or you may need external support. But the first step is awareness, and from there you can change your life. Without this, you are simply a victim of circumstances, and then it will be normal for you to feel helpless and powerless because you can't do anything. But this is not the truth. So please don't suffer in silence. To find out more about the services that I offer and how I can assist you on your journey, go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk. I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.